Fantasy season is here. The NFL has begun, and it is time, everybody. The Fantasy Couriers are proud to be partnered with Underdog Fantasy, the most amazing, greatest daily fantasy sports site. You might have done all their best ball games during the offseason. I have friends that did dozens and dozens and dozens and are still talking about them. Now we're in season, and it is time for Pick'em. You can pick player stats. You can pick highs or lows of various stats within a game. It is an exciting time. You can stack them. There are specials throughout the season that will make the game even more exciting. And to make things better, Underdog Fantasy has an exclusive offer for new customers. Claim your mystery pickup and get a 100% deposit match up to $100 now by signing up on Underdog using the code Couriers. Once you make that first deposit, head to the Pick'em lobby and find out which player special you get. If you're already a customer, share the code Couriers to support our amazing podcast so that we can continue to grow with Underdog and have a blast in season with you. Now, on to the show.
What is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am DJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
JJ Wang, it's already week 5. I can't believe it happened this fast.
Yeah, it's a bummer, man. It just goes by so fast. And at the end of the season, we're like, oh, here we go again. Another 7-month wait. But better right hot.
But I am celebrating today. I'm wearing my tight end U shirt today. My favorite purchase of the last year. One of the greatest weeks of the year is Tight End University, where all the tight ends get together. They hang out. And I'm using that to celebrate that according to Fantasy Pros this week, DJ Dove is the number 1 tight end ranker in all of the Fantasy Pros rankers. I was 28 for receivers. I botched running backs and quarterbacks, but number 1 on tight ends. I will have no other pride in my entire life. 61 a week. That's pretty money.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you should definitely feel proud of yourself. Plus, it gives the Couriers a good name, right? They need tight end advice. Come to you, the number 1 guy. But I mean, you've been on the tight ends for a while. This has been your thing. You've been a tight end guru pretty much since the beginning, I guess. I mean, I hate them with a passion, but I'm glad you're here. But congratulations, man! Great accomplishment. So proud.
Yes. Problem is, hopefully it's my love for Sam Laporta. That's what it is. Like, I'm in love with Sam Laporta. I would almost probably, if you want to fleece me, anybody, give me Sam Laporta. I would trade Kelsey probably for Sam Laporta in my dynasty leagues.
I mean, I feel like it'd be really hard to give up Sam Laporta right now and trade for him right now too, especially if you're like those tight end premiums. How are you going to give that guy up? And are you really wanting to give up as much as it's going to take to get that guy?
Yes, is always the answer. Getting a good and amazing tight end. I'm always about that, especially Sam Laporta. Oh, I love Sam Laporta.
Maybe I need to come to you for more advice for tight ends, and maybe I can help my game a little bit.
I don't know, man. Our teams are putting up some points, though. So I put out a thing this morning, and I've got us a handful of listener questions to go through, and then we'll go game by game for week.
You're on fire today, my man.
Well, you know what's crazy? I forgot to put it up because as you all know, if you listen to us regularly, we record on Wednesday, post it on Thursday. I didn't put this up till noon on Wednesday, and I got 8 more questions this week than last week. So people are getting ready. They're like, things are starting to go. We need some good information from the tight end guru and a good looking radio voice. So Philip was wondering, Pittman or Connor at the flex?
I'm probably going to go Connor at the moment. They're still going to run the ball. Josh Dobbs he's been playing great, but I still feel like they're more of a running team. They're going to rely on him a little more. And if there's a chance Anthony Richardson goes out here and only completes 11 passes in a game, Pittman's a hard start. I mean, I want to start him, but if you got a better option, absolutely. I think Connor, 20 carries, maybe a game, 15, 20, if possible. So, yeah, Connor, I think.
Connor's a workhorse back, basically. Yeah. They're not doing anybody else. It's smash that. It makes us sad because we love Pittman.
I love Pittman.
My boy Forrest, thinking of you, brother. He's asking Fields or Stroud, and we're going to talk about it in a moment. Bye weeks are here. So let's start there. First part, Fields or Stroud?
You know, as much as that hurts me to say, I'm gonna have to go Stroud just because he's been a little hotter. I mean, Justin Fields is coming off the big game, but against the worst defense of all time. So I mean, it's tough. I mean, you want to start Justin Fields. I mean, but I think I don't see any issue with starting Stroud right now. He's just been a little hotter, and if he has a bad game, I mean, it's just part of fantasy, right?
And before I do a second question, this is Forrest is why I love fantasy. This is the guy we connected. That he's in our Dynasty Diamonds League out in Colorado that we connected with, and we were chatting for a little bit this week. But that's what I told you about in our conversations. Like that's what football is about connecting and just meeting new dudes. So he's a good dude. But here's how the bye week is really kicking him. Bijan. So I got the question backwards. The Bijan is his problem. He's got Bijan or Brian. No,
Brian Robinson, no, Bijan Robinson,
he
Brian.
says Bijan. It says, should I play Algier or go with Latavius Murray? But he's got to play Latavius Murray. Oh, no. Oh, he's starting Bijan. Should his second back be Algier or Latavius Murray? Because Latavius Murray scored more points than Algier.
Well, I mean, yeah, but if you can go by that by week 5, you can start looking at who has the most points on the season, and be like, and just go starting that guy. So I haven't really been keeping up with Latavius Murray. So I have no idea what's going on.
He's getting
But
all their garbage time and just pounding stuff. So other than
I
week
mean,
one, Algier's been,
yeah, and Algiers been not be like you said, not much since. Well, yeah, I mean, if Murray's been helping you more, I mean, go Murray, got no problems.
go for us. Looks like we're going with Murray. And you said Stroud. Whew, that'd be tough.
It is hard. I mean, especially do you
I
want
love
to bench?
I'm a Stroud guy more than a Fields guy. I almost want to say Fields, but I'll
I
agree
mean,
with you Stroud because I want him to be good.
do you want to bench Fields coming off that big game? And we all know how he turned it around. How he turned
Yeah.
it around last year, just from like one game to the next, and he was like a top quarterback for fantasy at least. What I mean, that's what I'm in for. I know he's not a great NFL quarterback, but I didn't draft
That's
him for that. I didn't draft him for that. But once he starts running, you just never know when it's going to happen. So that's a very, very tough decision. Me
and the
personally, I I would probably stick with Fields one more week. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Fields.
I'm zagging on you for us. I'm going to go with Fields. And the only down part of Fields is if he poops the bed on Thursday, your whole weekend's shot. So
oh, shot,
that's the
shot.
problem. That makes me want
Yeah.
to, but it's one of those kind of deals. If he poops the bed on Thursday, man, you're a shot for the weekend. So some people hear this on Friday, they'll already know the answer to that question. So Felipe, who's always on there, has asked a question, and I've talked to him some. Is Michael Wilson the real deal, or was that a flash in the pan?
I mean, what's the real deal? I mean, he's in the NFL, so obviously he's the real. I mean, can you trust him? Absolutely not. But is he a nice stash on your dynasty team? Sure. I mean, he's at least you know he can perform like this in the NFL, so you know the potential is there. Will that offense, cater to him a little more? Maybe the better he plays, the more catches it might, and then he might be the real deal. But yeah, I'll say he's the real deal. But I mean, as far as like being able to play him, I don't think he's that real deal yet. I think he's more of a stash at the moment.
I think he's a quick stash. I was on him before the season started. I liked him as a late pick, and usually I get snaked by like one or two as a good third, fourth round pick in rookie
Yeah.
drafts. In
But
redraft,
He's been hyped up. He's been hyped up since the beginning. I mean, I've heard a lot of good things about him, and he's coming through. So I mean, take it
wasn't
for
he
what
kind
it
of
is. So,
injured in college all the time? So
right.
Stanford, I believe he was injured out of Stanford. So there's not a lot of tape, and so but he's
I
big.
mean, somehow I missed this guy, so I don't know.
Yeah, I believe that's who it was. I could be totally wrong, but Sharon, she's been active. How you doing? She's been asking questions. I've been chatting back and forth there. At a flex, Michael Thomas, Najee, George Pickens, or Javante Williams.
Well, I think it's going to come down between Najee and Michael Thomas. Thomas has been okay. I mean, he's been getting like 11 or 12 points. Najee Harris can get you 2 points. So I think the safe bet is probably Michael Thomas. But if you need like a few extra points, maybe hitting it big, I think Najee might be. I think there's more of a ceiling there with Najee. He might fall in for a couple touchdowns possibly at some point. But yeah, I think the safe play is probably Thomas. But if you need a ceiling play, I think Najee might be the way to go.
Yeah, I think I'd lean Najee, and I think if Javante would be a curious one, but I don't think he's playing this.
Yeah,
I
that
was
was
doing
scary.
rankings. I was doing rankings, and they're still 50-50 on if he's going to play, so I don't know what to expect of him. And so we'll see what comes out of that one.
Yep.
Some dude named Rich. I don't know.
Oh
Never met
God,
him. Never met
I've
him
seen that. I actually seen this. When I was breezing through the pregame, I seen this. I was like, "Oh Lord."
Well, he's overreacting just to because he's full of hyperbole, and it follows up with your niece, Alyssa. They're both just a little worried about Burrow. Rich, he's just using hyperbole. I don't think he's really this stupid. I'm dropping Burrow. He's been terrible. No, you're not.
He has been terrible.
And Alyssa says Burrow. Question, question, question. So what should as for Burrow owners? What's your advice?
You probably just got to stick with it. I mean, over his career, he hasn't been. He's not never been bad. He's been good. It's a tough sample. I know you're going through it, but you got to stick it out. I mean, if you happen to have a better option and you want to sit him on the bench, maybe give him a little bit of rest. I mean, speaking directly to Rich. I mean, this is what they did with Trey Turner over in baseball. The Phillies had to sit him for a little bit, move him down in the order, and here he's coming back, MVP of the team just because Trey Turner is awesome. We all know how I feel about that here in Washington. But yeah, I mean, you got to stick it out as long as you can. But I mean, at some point, if he keeps playing, you got to bench him or do something with him. But I think it might be a little overreaction. But I know he's hurting a lot of people.
Oh, he's killing people. I don't like Joe Burrow at all. So I try to
It's
trade.
because his legs are so skinny, man.
Ah. Yeah. Anyway, our boy Mark from back home, he almost joined one of our leagues this year. His weekend didn't work out. Mark's asking Tank Dell or Romeo Dobbs this week. He's leaning Tank Dell, but he's looking to see what we think.
I'd probably lean Romeo Dobbs, however you want to say. I think he's the maybe closer to the number one receiver in Green Bay than I think Tank Dell is to the number one receiver. Well, I think Nico Collins is the number. Yeah, that's it. Nico Collins is the number one, and Dobbs could be the number one there in Green Bay. So I think you got to go with Dobbs.
Yeah,
However you want to say.
I'm going with targets. Dobbs is getting the targets. It's funny when I do my rankings, I don't do them on a spreadsheet and enter them in. They come as usually the consensus rankings. Christian Watson is still ranked a lot higher than Dobbs. Like I just swapped them when I put him in. I forget where I put Dobbs, but I had him maybe in the teens, maybe early 20s, somewhere in there because the targets are just ridiculous for that.
Good for him.
Game by game preview. So leading into this week, it is now bye weeks. So if you have any of those stellar Cleveland Browns on your team, you're in trouble. Here's the big kicker. Here comes some kickers. The Chargers. So you're without Eckler, which you've been without forever, but Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert. The Browns probably Amari Cooper, maybe some Jerome Ford. Seahawks, you got without Kenneth Walker, Geno, the two receivers. Buccaneers, Baker, baby. Evans, it's going to be great for Evans to heal that hammy. And Godwin and you're having to play White. He's just getting touches, but he's not been anything too pretty. But those are your guys on bye weeks. Make sure to get them out of your lineups. Also, we mentioned it last week. If you're listening to this before Thursday, move your guys from flexes up to main spots. I get that from the footballers each week. It's a strategy. I always forget that I'm like,
I'm sure it's a great strategy approved by many, but I mean, I just ain't got the time.
I've started doing.
I definitely got the time. I just don't do it.
Even on Sundays now more than on the weekend to make sure my 1:00 games are in that spot just in case something like weird, like some drop lag. Then I could maybe do, but usually I don't know who I'm going to drop. That's the problem.
I'm not that focused to look at it to go that deep yet. I'm not that deep.
So here we go. We'll do just like a 2-second on Thursday night because most people will listen to it after Thursday night. We have the Bears, who showed a little bit of signs of life but still lost, versus the Commanders. Your boys. We got a Sam Howell, Justin Fields matchup. Both looked pretty good last week. If you had both those guys, it goes back to the Justin Fields earlier versus Stroud. It's in Washington. Would you feel better the way that your boy Hal finished the game, or do you follow the draft capital in week 5?
I'm still going Justin Fields over Hal here. I mean, as much as I like Hal, I think the upside for Justin, I just can't jump off after him having such a big game. I don't want to be that guy who didn't trust him and then missed out on this many points and ended up losing my week. If I start Justin Fields, then he hurts me. I drafted him. That's the reason I got him. So I'm going Fields.
DJ Moore's gonna be the real deal, or is this a 1 week fluke?
I mean, I hope he's the real deal. I've been waiting for him to be the real deal for a long time. At some point, we got to realize maybe he's not the real deal.
Yeah, it'd be like a DJ Moore or Terry McLaurin. That was gonna be my question.
Oh
Ugh.
yeah, that's a tough one.
And then we go to Sunday. Notice a 9:30 start, everybody. So check your rosters bright and early. If you're our friends, like Forrest is in the Mountain Time in Colorado there, so that's a 7:30. Our friends on the West Coast, our boy Lance, that's a 6:30 start. No, 5:30, whatever. 4 hours early. Jags, not the home team actually. The Bills get the home game in London. So Jags at the Bills. It should be interesting because the Jaguars stayed there all week, and the Bills are going to fly over, having to fly the 7 hour flight to London. Does that give you any point of hesitation for your Bills, and maybe think the Jags might compete more than we thought?
I mean, it may be a little bit, but I just don't really trust. As much as I want to trust the Jags, I just don't trust the Jags. I trust the Bills and Josh Allen the way he's playing right now. He's playing great. And I think a little trip across the pond isn't really going to hurt him, and I think he's going to do fine. And I think Jacksonville's probably going to blow it like they usually blow it and look like a so-so team, like they usually look like a so-so team.
Yeah, I mean, you're starting the guys you always start, but guys to think about here is Christian Kirk's had more push recently than Calvin Ridley, and then Gabe Davis. Those are guys that might fall into a flex somewhere. If you had to start one of those three guys, knowing it's Sunday morning, so your day could be shot, but those are the three guys on your bench. Which one of those three guys do you feel most comfortable starting?
I think I feel most comfortable with Kirk because I just feel like he's more of a consistent target guy. I mean, of course, Ridley and Gabe Davis can both have huge days, but it's like you starting off bad on Thursday. Do you really want to start off bad, Sunday morning the same way? But with Ridley, it's been bad, the last couple of weeks. And Kirk didn't start out great. He had a good week. So, I mean, I don't really feel all that comfortable, but I think I might go with Kirk here, coming off the bigger game, staying in England.
It's fun. These 9:30 games I'm greeting at the church doors. People come in, they know I do fantasy, and they're like, "Hey, did you see the score?" I'm like, "Oh, cool." Because this game I won't. It's on NFL Network, so more people can see it this week versus that ESPN Plus garbage. So we're gonna start the 1 o'clock slate. Texans at the Falcons. Really for me the big story. And I just wrote about it actually it should pop up on Fantasy Pros. Jonnu Smith. How high? He's got six the first week, nothing, but then he got 6 targets, 8 targets, 6 targets, 95 yards last week. I think I might have him in the single digits of tight end rankings this week. I mean, and I am an expert for 1 week out of my life.
I mean, you are an expert, but I mean, you sound absolutely crazy right now. The fact that Jonnu Smith can be a tie, I feel like there's got to be 9 more tight ends that you would want before Jonnu Smith. I hate tight ends, but I feel like I can come up with 9 tight ends. I'm not going to do it right now because I'll look like an idiot, but feel like I can.
I'm following the targets, and it led me there. And like I moved Kyle Pitts like mid to late 20s. Like he's dead to me.
I can see that, but I mean, you also got to figure where the targets are coming from. They're coming from Ritter, who probably not great targets. Yeah, he's getting some plays here and there, but I mean, you can start Jonnu Smith, but there's no way that you feel comfortable in any way starting Jonnu Smith.
Well, tight end outside of Andrews, Hawkinson, Laporta, and Kelsey that you're comfortable starting. You're not like Kittle's terrible. Kittle is
terrible, but you're still starting. But you're still. I mean, Goddard's been terrible, but I mean, I feel like you're still starting.
Goddard like down at 10 or 12. Like he's terrible right now. I got Jonnu Smith above Goddard because Goddard's been so bad.
Yeah, I mean, play bad, but I mean, I'm not sure Jonnu Smith is going to be any better. I mean, he might have a good game, but I mean, take your word. You're the tight end guru, man. Be tight end out. Yeah, I mean, you've got the T-shirt, dude. Follow this guy.
I would love to go to that 1 year. I think 1 year I'll be there and I'll be just getting pictured. I'll be spectacular. Anyway, Panthers at the Lions. Yuck. I don't even know. Like, there's nothing there. Are the Lions this week? All I can get from this game is, are the Lions the best defense to start this week?
I mean, it's possible. But my question to you is, how high do you got David Montgomery? How high do you got David Montgomery?
I was getting ready to pull up my stuff before I moved. He's actually higher than you would think because I'm not a big Monty, but what I'm seeing there, I want to say.
What I think he's got to be like a mid to high end RB2, right?
I might have him higher, to be honest. I'm
Yeah, I
trying
mean that's.
rankings.
I mean, if he's getting that many touches against a bad team, they're going to want to grind the clock. And well, what better running back in the league? I mean, I don't want to say what
I
better
got
running
him
back.
at you exactly 13. I have him at 13 as of
Yeah,
this.
I mean,
This
this
he's getting the
because
touches. Why
I
not?
can't imagine them having to throw a lot. They're just going to grind it out and run the ball. So, I mean, another 20 touches this week. I mean, it's possible.
Jameson Williams a good stash right now.
I mean, sure, he's definitely a
Willie
good
Reynolds is
stash.
playing. No.
I mean, what's that?
Josh Reynolds is playing really well with
Yeah, I
that.
mean, I'm not starting Jameson Williams, but I mean, if he's on the waiver wire, I mean, as far as dynasty goes, I mean, yeah, I'd pick him up and stash him. But I mean, I'm not. I just don't expect much out of it right now.
Okay, the Yuck Bowl, Titans and the Colts. Both of these teams somehow are 2-2. That's
Okay.
just terrible. Jonathan Taylor might come back. Here's the: would you rather play Derrick Henry or Zach Moss?
Oh, I'm definitely. I mean, that's. I
Their
can't believe.
scores are about the same.
I mean, maybe, but I can't. I can't imagine. I can't imagine anybody having Zach Moss higher than Derrick Henry. Still, but I mean, you're enjoying the Zach Moss ride while you have it. Absolutely. But just don't know how much longer that's going to last. Jonathan Taylor, he might get a half a game workload when Jonathan Taylor comes back. But after that, I can't imagine him keeping the ball out of his hands. Jonathan Taylor wants to look good, right?
Yeah, he wants to make he wants that bag of cash. And he's got to play
Yeah.
those weeks. I
Get
think
that money, brother. Help us out in fantasy, dude.
yeah, help me. I had a league where I drafted him and Kamara as my 1 and 2, just to. But I went because I went wide receiver strong, and I'm 2 and 2 right now, so I need them to play. Hey, would you rather play Michael Pittman or DeAndre Hopkins? Pittman, right?
Oh
Barely.
God, Pittman. Yeah, I'm not playing DeAndre Hopkins, and it's surefire waste of a touchdown, man.
Okay, New York Giants versus the Miami Dolphins. Oh man, oh man, oh man. We should put up another 70 burger, right?
I mean, yeah, we should go back to the Dolphins of 2 weeks ago when they're playing bad teams. So just know when the Dolphins are playing, these super bad teams, probably they could probably bet on Tyreek Hill going off for 45 and Tua looking good with his 350 and 4 or whatever it
I was
is.
going to ask that question. Are you more confident in Tyreek or Devin Achan right now? Who would you like?
Oh,
Tyreek's
I
been
mean,
down the last 2 weeks. Achan has been just murderers,
I
bro.
mean,
He's the
sure.
most
I
valuable
mean,
player.
sure. I mean, maybe teams are looking at it like this. Hey, let's make sure we double, triple, do whatever we got to do to stop Tyreek. And this is maybe opening up more lanes for H-Hand. But I can't say I'm more confident in H-Hand than I am. It's Tyreek Hill, man.
Yeah,
Like,
I love Tyreek, and Jalen Waddle actually this week they were asking a
I'm
buy.
worried about that guy.
I had him as a buy low because the talent is there, and the concussion and just getting healthy and just
Uh,
getting. If you can buy,
Definitely, if you can get him on the cheap, but I don't know if any owner's willing to sell him on the cheap. So that's a hard
he's wide
bargain.
receiver like 56 or something. Like
Yeah,
he's.
but if you're playing Dynasty, you don't want to give up on that kind of
Yeah,
asset.
I'm,
No,
I'm thinking more the questions I get through Fantasy Pros are from the redraft lens at this point.
well,
From
in the
this,
redraft, I'm not even starting him. So I mean, it really
yeah.
doesn't
But if you
matter.
can trade for him, just to stay, I'd trade something decent to put him there with that offense. And I mean, Tyreek gets a hammy, boom. Jalen Waddle is wide receiver 7.
Well,
Um,
Jesus, that's a lot of teams.
yeah. Saints at the Patriots. Ugh. Alvin Kamara or Ramondre Stevenson? Who would you feel more comfortable? Because Ramondre's not getting as much toe, but Alvin Kamara got 13 passes for like
Got
30 yards or something
a
stupid.
lot of catches, and who knows what the quarterback situation going on in New England? That's just going to kill everything. I mean, they're both not really that good. So yeah, I think Alvin Kamara and his 13 catches for 15 yards going to look real good.
Oh, and J.C. Jackson just got traded to the Patriots.
Well, that's really going to help out Mac Jones in the offense.
Yeah, and I thought about that. I was like, oh, good job. Late pick. So Ravens at the Steelers, usually a bruiser bowl, but I think everybody on the Steelers is hurt as far as what, like Najee Harris and then Jalen, let Warren be the core. They'll just run Wildcat. And Mitch Trubisky. Is he a sneaky play or are the Ravens too good?
I don't. I think the Ravens are. I don't know if Mitch Trubisky's going to sneak up on anybody at this point. I mean,
As
sure.
a super flex, would
Yeah, I
he?
mean, if you need a start and you was able to
He had Baker's
pull
on.
Trubisky and absolutely throw him in there if he sure. I mean, he can produce. We've seen it. Just hard to trust, man. That's key. Hard. You gotta trust, and if you don't trust him, then you're just really yucky. But sometimes you gotta do it, so it doesn't matter.
If you say, well, Najee is the answer you don't want to give. So don't say Najee, but what running back from this game would you play? Jalen Warren.
Uh,
There's that new kid, the rookie. I just lost his name in my head.
I mean,
The
I guess probably Jalen Warren's been probably the most, but who wants to start Jalen Warren? He's not
Gus
doing
Edwards,
real. I mean,
Justice
I mean, has any running back in
Melvin
this
Gordon.
has any running back in this game produced anything all seasons? That's the hard part, except for Najee Harris. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hey, Bengals at Cardinals. Will Josh Dobbs outscore Joe Burrow?
Damn right he will. Josh Dobbs all the way, brother.
Okay. And then the receivers. You got the Cardinals receivers, which will be Hollywood Brown and Michael Wilson, or the Bengals receivers, Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd. Higgins isn't officially out yet, which I thought he was done for the week. Which duo do you think, if you had to stack them in a DFS lineup?
Well, if I'm going to sit here and praise Josh Dobbs, right, if he's going to have a better game than Burrow, then you think I would say Michael Wilson and Hollywood Brown. But I mean, I just like Jamar Chase better, and I just can't pick either one of
Run the
these. I
flipping
mean,
ball. I don't think he said
now,
flipping.
now am I really seriously going to start Burrow or Dobbs over Burrow? I mean, I don't know. I would feel gross doing that. But I mean, I might if I'm desperate. I can't trust Burrow's getting hard to trust too, man.
And the running backs. You got very productive James Conner versus touchdown, hopefully productive Joe Mixon.
I'd probably go Connor. More, I guess, more reliable if you can say that. I guess.
Eagles at the Rams. Ooh, Eagles undefeated still. You're looking at some. Is this Puka Nacua was my guy that I put this week that you should sell because I'm afraid of the Cooper Cup and he's at his high peak. So redraft only. You're going to sell him, but would you rather have Puka Nacua or one of the Eagles receivers?
Well, I'd rather have AJ Brown because
Been down.
it's AJ Brown. But why? If you're a winning team and if you're winning and you're on a redraft team, Puka Nacua is probably part of the reason you got there, right? So why are you going to trade him away? That's why I just find it so hard to trade in redraft. Because what if this does continue and you just traded it away for some wide receiver 3?
But the gamble is
I mean, it's totally a gamble,
a whole lot of
but
stuff.
but I'd rather gamble on Puka Nacua putting up all these points.
What about Cooper Cup though? That's the reason you would trade him is thinking Cooper Cup and him because he could become Robert Woods, which is still good, but he's not Cooper Cup, and then see what it comes out of. DeAndre Smith or Kylan Williams, which one has a better week? A quick shot.
I still go DeAndre Swift.
Okay, got some garbage here coming up. Jets and the Broncos. Do you care?
No.
Okay,
I
cool.
mean, Breece Hall is supposedly not supposed to be on a snap count, so we'll see.
That's what I was gonna say. And Broncos, which would you? Even though I got the running back, the rookie, I just lost his name in my head.
Jaleel McLaughlin.
Yeah. I'm not touching him this week with a 10-foot pole. Are you?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I'd give it another week unless you're desperate.
Oh, it's the Jets. Okay, Chiefs and Vikings. Quarterbacks there. Kirk Cousins finally came back to earth. Patrick Mahomes are there. What percentage chance that Kirk Cousins can have more yards than Patrick Mahomes in the dome in Minnesota?
I think there's a really good chance. I mean, Pat Mahomes is still Pat Mahomes, but I think that offense isn't all that great. Doesn't have good receivers to throw to, and I think Kirk Cousins very easily can put up 350 and 4 touchdowns. I mean, it's very possible. So I think there's a good chance.
And the game of the week actually is a Sunday Night Football game. Finally, Cowboys versus the 49ers. That should be a really good game.
I think it would be a complete butt whipping. But
You really think so? Are you hesitant with your I'm Tony Pollard? I put down. I lowered him a lot because of the 49ers. I don't have as high as I used to because he's gonna get the thing, but not that. Are you worried about Pollard at all? I mean, you're gonna start him, but are you worried?
Yeah, you're going to start. I'm worried. I'm worried about the Cowboys because the Cowboys I think are going to come up short because that's just what the Cowboys do. I think Brock Purdy's better than Dak Prescott. Christian McCaffrey's better than Tony Pollard. Brandon Ayuk is playing better than CeeDee Lamb. We've got Debo, and then there's still George Kittle. I think the 49ers are who the Cowboys want to be, and I think the 49ers will slap them around a little bit.
And speaking of my other I told you about the Dobbs Watson thing. Ayuk is still not getting the respect. Like Debo's still flopping, so I flipped them on there as well. You got me on the Ayuk side, and I got him ranked higher. Maybe that's why I'm the 28th ranked wide receiver man because of you and your Ayuk.
Yeah,
Last
right.
game, which I probably don't know if I really want to watch. Packers and Raiders on Monday night. Jordan Love versus Aiden O'Connell.
Is Aiden O'Connell getting another start?
It's still iffy. It's nothing official, so we don't have
All
anything.
right, all right. I'm on the Aiden O'Connell train, baby.
I'm
Let's go.
seeing Devontae Adams as a possible trade target. I don't think anybody will take that contract on, but Devontae Adams with Aiden O'Connell or Jamie Garoppolo. Jamie Garoppolo I think is better for Devontae Adams, but
I
versus
mean, I was watching Aiden O'Connell, and it seemed like the only person he was throwing to there for a while was Devontae Adams. So maybe he realizes that, hey, this guy's going to butter my bread here. I'll just throw it to Devontae Adams every time. Hey, that's what I would do too, brother.
is Aaron Jones dead?
I mean, I haven't seen him in a while. I haven't heard from him. He might be dead.
Yeah,
I'm
four
not saying
carries
he's
last
not.
night, like 4 or 6
But,
episodes.
but I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, well, that's our week. I mean, I was going to ask you Devontae versus all of them, but we'll see what happens there. The road
Yeah,
option.
we'll see what happens. It's going to be tough.
That's our
That's
week,
what-
brother. So give us some wisdom, and let's go to week 5.
Yeah, week 5 is quarter of the way. It's starting to become do or die time. If you need to make moves, I mean, this is when you got to start thinking about maybe pulling off that trade if you don't trust Nakua. I mean, you've got to make a move before you get to 0-6 because then it's really hard. Because 1-3, I mean, it's still possible to win the ship. So as always, trust yourself and trust the process.